Hey there, it's Crafty Jennabug. I'm at it again, working in this journal. Stoked about it. I have an idea, but I gotta find a page for it. So let's just jump right in. I've started tucking this key in when I tie it, just to have it just so it has somewhere to go. Okay. Now, I think I want a double page spread. I'll get to this page in a little bit. But I think I need 2 pages. That could potentially work. That might work. Let me see. That could work. I kind of want 2 white pages near each other, but I don't know if I'm going to find it anymore. Oh, there we go. That might work. I think that's the best I'm going to get. All right, we'll do this. What is sticking out? Oh, the rhinestone. So, I have an idea. I based it off this stamp I have. It says, "Love grows here." I'm all about gardening. It also says "planted in my heart." I might use both of them. But I am all about gardening. And so I got inspired between that stamp and there's an artist I follow on Instagram, Andrea Nelson. She's been doing a series of Valentine's Day themed crafts, and one of them was making hearts out of tissue paper. And I have quite a few pink pieces of tissue paper that I want to make use of for this. So I'm going to cut out a few hearts and then I'll start putting them down, but I want them to look like flowers. So I'm going to maybe layer some, make it look like a garden where the hearts are the flowers, if that makes sense. So here goes nothing. I'll be back in a minute with all of my hearts cut out. All right, I've cut out a bunch of hearts, but the issue I'm having is the back of this page has bleed through from the distress spray stain that was used on it, whereas this one is just plain white, and I kind of want it to have a similar background. This is a very thick piece of scrapbook paper. I might be able to get away with spraying a little bit on it. This one, however, is not. But if more comes through, I'm not mad about that. So I'm going to do this, and we're going to have a little fun. I'm nervous. I think I got a lot of pinks, so I want more red. Maybe. Maybe I should just use this. Bring some red in. Why am I so nervous? This is sad. All right, here goes nothing. Worst case scenario, I cover this side. Cover whatever mess I make on that side. So let's go. Be brave. That just bled right through, which I like more actually. And this isn't too bad, but I'm gonna dry it now. All right, these 2 splattered pages have now been dried. I'm gonna use some matte gel and a paintbrush. I gotta let that dry. And then I'll be back to figure out what else I want to do. I might want to do a second layer of tissue paper flowers. But for now, I'm gonna let this dry. All right, these have dried, and I think I want to make them look a bit more like a garden with some gold gel pen. And I'm gonna just trace around each flower, and draw stems and leaves. So I'll get to it. I'm not really feeling that. I think I'm gonna use the embossing powder. All right, all of these have been embossed. Now, I gotta draw some stems. All right, I went ahead and embossed the leaves and stems off camera. I love these pages. They're adorable. And I think I am just going to use this. Oh, I could emboss that too. Let's do it. All right. It's going to happen. I'm not done with the embossing yet. I thought I was done, but I'm not. So I'm just going to take my pen and run it over this, stamp it, emboss it, and I'll be back. Well, that was a fail. You can't really tell what it says. So I'm gonna get a piece of paper. I'm just going to take a scrap piece of paper and I'm going to stamp Love Grows Here. This one also says planted in my heart. And I'm tempted. Nah. I like Love Grows Here. All right, well, there's another 2 pages done. I really like it. It turned out super cool. I wish that had worked out with the embossing, but I think the letters were a little too thin. And yeah, but I really like it. That's super cute. Little garden of flowers made of hearts. Sweet. 2 more pages down. Let's move on. All right, back to this page. I promised, right? So I want to turn this into a pocket. I think I'm going to make it another sideways pocket. I do want to trim this because I just thought it looked weird hanging down up there. But I want to incorporate this doily in some way. I played around with the idea of just making it overlap, but I don't really like that. I think I want it to peek out under here. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit. And then it'll stick out a little bit at the bottom. I like that look. Yeah. Cool. And that gives me a pocket here. Now I just need to decorate it. All right, I got these stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I pulled this one out because I really like the way it looks right here. And it's a dimensional sticker. It's just flat on one side and kind of sticks out. I like it. I think that's really cute. Kind of simple, but I dig it. Anywho, I think that is super cute. And now I just got to make something to go in there. I have this piece of shiny paper. Let's see, will that fit? No. Alright. Now I'm going to figure out what to make to put in there. And then I have these die cut butterflies I thought would look really pretty as a tag, or as a topper. That way it's on both sides and you'll see it sticking out. Come on. See it sticking out. But before I do that, I want to pink up the back of this with some Kitsch Flamingo. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's so cute. And you can see it peeking out a little bit over the top. So I'm going to pull that to the side and let it dry so I don't get it stuck into the book. Next, I want to choose a thicker page, something that has a little heft to it. That might be cute. Probably one of the scrapbook pages. That's probably going to be a pocket. I need to fix those so that I like them more. So I made this little trifold thing back when I first started junk journaling, and it is made from a book page, specifically a workbook that was sent home from my daughter at like the end of the school year. They worked in it a bit during the school year and it was just going to get tossed, so I turned it into something cool. Covered it with different colored scrapbook paper. This says I love right now. It is very, I went for a black and white theme, so I'm going to have to add some red. But inside, looks like this. And I think I will pull these out and add, either remove them completely and add something else, or add them in conjunction with some red. I do want to add more red or pink, but I want to glue it down to a page because that's why I left it blank. Glue it down to a page so that I can make it a flip out. But I gotta figure out a page that is sturdy enough to hold it. I kind of like the idea of it being on the right side so that I can access this easier. Pretty hefty. Let's see what we have offered over here. Ooh. Oh man, that looks really cool actually. Ooh. I like the idea of it being on a red page. Let me see what we have over here. I don't know if that page is thick enough to really accommodate it though. I love it on that red. It really pops on that red, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, let's get some tacky glue. All right, so that has a little tab sticking out now. But I need to add more red. All right, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I've got this piece, looks like cardstock with some stamped and embossed stuff on it. I'm going to use tacky glue to glue it down. And then I've got these little pieces of heart confetti. Alright, I've got to let those dry. Will that flatten that enough? Alright, stick that on there and let that dry, and we'll be back. Alright, this is dried. I like it. I think I'll move on to the inside. Alright, so here's what I've done. I took some of those Valentine's tags from the free printable. I added an antique gold eyelet to this one, and I stuck it right here. This one says "My love to you." I added some embroidery floss and this like antique gold key I found in my stash. Thought about putting some more beads on it, on the ends, but we'll see. This is a piece of scrap cardstock I had. I stuck a piece of vellum on it that says "Always kiss me goodnight." And this was already in here. It seemed to fit, and I wasn't trying to take it over with all red things. I think I've got a decent spread going on. And then this I had in my stash as well. I cut it out of a piece of cut it off of a piece of scrapbooking paper, and it just brought some more red to the equation, and I really like it. So I thought about using some more of that. Let's bring some more of the heart confetti inside. So that is complete. Awesome. I kind of want to do something around it, but I'm not sure what yet. So I'm going to hold off on that for now. That gives me a few pages done. A few simple pages. That is so heavy. I guess I should have put it on the bottom. You know, I could do something on the back here to stabilize it. Maybe. All right, now this is dried. This page didn't quite line up perfectly, but I'm not gonna get nitpicky about it. I'm gonna just appreciate the fact that now this is a sturdy page that can hold the weight of this. So I can always do a little of this, maybe. Maybe that's not as obvious. Maybe. And then I have decided that this page would be cool as a sideways belly band. And I want to fold this over to this page. So this is the belly band. It's a little thick. I could put something over it in the middle to break it up. Alright, so this, I don't want to glue that down yet because I don't know what I'm going to do on this page. But for now, I'm just going to keep it folded over. And I found this in my stash. I cut it out of a piece of scrapbook paper. And I think I'm going to put it here and just glue it on the sides. And make another little belly band that goes sideways. So, like this. And there will be 2 belly bands. So that'll give us 2 belly bands. I just have to make stuff to go in the belly bands now. So I'm going to figure that out, and I'll be back. I made this flower out of some pieces of magazines, and I have this piece of doily left over from the other page. I think I'm gonna put them on here on the very top, like that, so you can see a little bit of it sticking out. Mostly you'll see it from the back though. And then it will go in here like that. I love it. So pretty. And I need to find, I really like this in here actually. And once this is dry, that flower will help hold it from sliding out. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe not you. Let me figure something else. Alright, I took one of the little tags from the free printable, and I think I'm just going to put it there. I think it's cute. It is warmer toned than some of the other stuff, but I think it'll work. For now, at least. I'm going to pull this aside to let it dry. Then I think I'm going to flip over to this page. I think I'm just going to do some sort of collage here. Maybe. Alright, I found this poem or song. I'm not quite sure which. It's by Nico Case, so it could be a song because she's a songwriter. And I found it in a book of poetry, or it's a literature textbook kind of thing. And I sprayed a bunch of the, which one is the Abandoned Coral? No, Picked Raspberry over it, and I tore around it. I'm gonna stick it to this page, and I found a couple of pieces of embossed scraps of paper. And I thought with this here it kind of worked, and I'm also going to use some washi tape with it. So first thing I'm going to do is break out this matte gel and do some gluing. I figured, since it was about a tornado, This Tornado Loves You is the title, I figured I'd make it a little chaotic with the pieces all over. So that's done. I gotta let it dry before I can move on. I wrote February in some fancy way on this little piece of scrap paper. I think I'm gonna glue it here and do some stuff around it, but before I do that, I think I want to make it pink because it just stands out too much on there. And I think I will go ahead and glue this down for a pocket. Alright, you may be wondering what I'm doing. I did a Valentine's themed paint pour in a different video, and I have some leftover paint that I mixed up, and I'm gonna do like I did for the January journal. And I have 2 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to pour some paint on it. Maybe I'll spread it around with the heat tool, and we'll see what happens. I also have a piece of cardstock on standby so I can squeeze like I did with the other one too, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, we're going to let those dry and see what they look like. Alright, I decided that I want to make a confetti shaker for this journal. So I'm going to take this cardstock, it's embossed with hearts all over it, and I have this piece of plastic, what do you call it? Acrylic from doll packaging, and I'm going to use it in the shaker so that that's like the window. Well, first thing I gotta do is figure out how big I want it. Well, if this plastic, I want it alright, I got my ruler. This is a little over 3 inches. It's about 3 1/4 inches wide by 3 inches tall. Just this one. Alright, while that dries, I'm going to make a piece of ephemera for this page. A tag of some sort to go in there. Alright, for this pocket, I'm going to use this cardstock that I did the paint pour. This cardstock that I used the leftover paint from the paint pour. And I think I'm going to just cut it down into a tag shape. Got a little tag. Oh yeah. And then I'm going to also stick this in there, I think. Now I kind of wish this was taller. Alright, now I just got to put something on here. I mean, first, I think that's going to work for me. I'm going to just glue all this down, finish it off. Alright, that is what I ended up with. And I have this little plastic heart that says "Be My Valentine." Some candy wrappers, faux postage stamp, a picture I cut out of a magazine, some doily, and a die cut. That's that. It needs to dry. Alright, back to the shaker. So, if I just put this flat, it's not going to shake very much. So I'm going to use these 3D double-sided adhesives called Zap Dots. And they are little foamy bits little foamy guys that are kind of thick. And I'm just going to put some around maybe the corners. Which means I'll have to figure out a way to adhere the edges. And this will give room for the confetti to move. Maybe some ribbon. Let me find some ribbon that might be thick, wide enough to go around both sides. All right, I figured out what I'm gonna do. I have this thin ribbon. It's less than ½ inch wide. And I'm going to run it all along this edge, fold it over to close it off. See? I kind of wish it were thicker, but I'm working with what I've got. And I'm going to use some hot glue because I know it's going to be a pain. This is not something I'm the most proud of. Are you telling me that all my confetti is stuck down there? Okay. All right, there is my very sad confetti shaker that doesn't want to work too well. I think the zap dots are messing me up. I think they're sticking to the dots. There we go. So, a little confetti shaker. With a loop. I am not incredibly pleased with the way this turned out. I mean, I think the concept was good. The execution left a little to be desired. Thicker ribbon would have been better, or a wider ribbon, excuse me. A wider ribbon would have been better. I kind of wish I had distressed around the whole, the heart cutout before. And the zap dots were not the best choice. But let's see if I have somewhere in here I can put it. All right, I think that's where I'm gonna end this video. I've done quite a bit here and I need to let this dry anyway. So this shaker will end up going, yeah, it works pretty decently. The shaker will end up going in this pocket once this is completely dry. I just don't want these to get knocked off. So, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. This is, again, kind of a struggle for me. This is not my typical color scheme, nor my typical theme, really, for anything. I mean, I do celebrate love. I'm usually celebrating it differently. My journals tend to have more of a floral theme, so this is outside of my comfort zone, but I'm doing my best to embrace that. So I hope you're enjoying the series. I hope you enjoyed this video. We will see you in the next one. Have a great day.